Hi everyone, and you are welcome to this lecture, Random Module. In this lecture, I'm going to define what random module is, we will see some useful random module functions, and I will end up this lecture by a quick summary. So let's get started. So, what's random module? Random module is a built-in module, which means it comes with the original Python package and you don't have to install anything from the internet if you want to use it. And this module is full of functions to work with random numbers. So if your programs need any random capabilities, keep in mind that we have a random module in Python. This module has a lot of function to generate random numbers in a flexible way, like for example random, rand integer, uniform, and so on. Now let's move to PyCharm IDE to see some of available functions in random module. First of all, because random is a module, you have to import first. So I will say import random. Now, let's see the first available function in random module. It's named random integer. And as you see, it takes two parameters, their names a and b, and both of them should be integer. And this function returns an integer. How this function works, it's very easy. It generates a random integer number in the range a, b. Let's run this function to see the result. So I will assign the result of random integer and the first argument of 3 and the second argument is 60 and see the result. As you see, I get 55. If I run again, I will get 9. If I run again, I will get 60 and so on. So each time you run this function, you will get a different random value because this is its job to generate a random value. And as you note, all of the random values that have been generated are integer. Sometimes I want to generate a float random value. In this case, we are going to use random function, which takes no arguments and it returns a float. And this float, it's a random number in the range 0, 1 by default. Let's see an example. Let me say random, which is the module name, dot random, which is the function name, and then I put parentheses because I'm calling a function, and run. And as you see, I will get 0.4. If I run again, 0.58. If I run again, 0.7. And every time you run, you will get a different random value in the range 0, 1. Now the question that rises in your mind, how to generate a random value in a range which is not 0 and 1, maybe 4, 5, 6, 9. And so on. In order to do that, we are going to use uniform function. And uniform, it's a function that takes two arguments, a and b, and these two arguments should be float, and it will return an argument from the type float. This function generates a random float number in the range ab, which means the range that you specify here by using a and b argument. Let's see an example. If I say random.uniform 1, 3, which means I want to generate a random float value in the range 1, 3. Run, you will get 2.4. Run again, you will get 2.7, again 2.4, and so on. And each time you run, you will get a different random value in the range 1, 3. Keep in your mind that random is full of available functions that give you a huge random capabilities that can be used in your program. The last idea that I want to highlight in this module is the seed idea. So what's seed? Sometimes you want to generate the same random numbers each time you run your program from the beginning. In other words, you want to reproduce the same values of random numbers that you want to generate. How you can do that? You have to use seed function in this way. Let me show you the difference if I use seed or if I don't use this seed. First of all, I'm going to generate two random numbers. The first one using random, so it's a float. The second one, it's random integer, so it's an integer. And I will run. As you will see here, I will get 0.84. If I run again, I will get two different values. If I run again, another two different values. Now, let me use the seed, and I put here 10. You can use any seed number you want. It should be integer value in a predefined range. You can check this range in the documentation. But in this case, I choose 10. If I run now, as you see, I get 0.54. If I run again, I get exactly the same random values, which are 0.54. And run again, you will get the same values again and again. Why this happen? Because in this case, I'm passing 10, which is the seed of random number generators. And each time I am generating a random value, I'm starting from the same seed, so I am going to get the same random value. So keep in mind, when you want to reproduce the same random values, each time you run your program, you have to use the same seed. And that's all for this code session. Now let's summarize what we have learned in this lecture. First of all, we see that random module, it's a built-in module and it's full of useful function to work with random numbers. And we use some functions in the code sessions. I want you please to refer to random module appendix, in which you will find all the available functions in this lecture have been summarized. Also, refer to random module challenges, in which you will find some challenges to practice what you have learned in this lecture. Thank you very much for your time, and if you are available, join me in the next lecture.